Oh, doesn't it feel good to be back? Doesn't it feel good to be back? It's only been maybe 2 or 3 days since the last stream, but we're back here streaming. And we're talking about the main man, Morgan Gibbs-White, who signed for Nottingham Forest for 25 million, not 44, 25 million, and including add-ons that will likely go up to 35 and will probably never reach the 44 million. That is the probability. We'll talk a little bit about the finances involved with his signing. We're going to talk a little bit about him as a player. We're going to talk about how he did last season. We're going to talk about how he did the season before. We're going to talk in general a little bit how he's been progressing as a player. Because as we all know, Morgan Gibbs-White, he's still young. He's still young. And he's still doing a lot of work in terms of building his way as a football player. And Forest is his next step, I suppose. And in that aspect, we're going to have to embark on that journey with him, aren't we? So Morgan Gibbs-White, where did he join from? He joined from Wolves. He's 22. He's from Stafford. He's played 2 Premier League games so far. In 2019 to 20, he played in the Europa League 7 times. Didn't know that. He's got a good few appearances in various formats, but in particular, mostly with Sheffield United last season. So we're going to have a look at his stats very, very quickly. Obviously, it's Everton tomorrow as well. So this is kind of a preview as well. So you're getting a bit of both, really. So I hope you all enjoy this. This is a bit of an Everton preview. I should have really said that in the thumbnail, shouldn't I, really? Now I come to think of it. Now, last season, he got 13 goals and 10 assists in 40 appearances. So 23 goal contributions in 40 games. That's more than a goal, half a contribution per game, or a goal every 2 games, goal contribution. So pretty good, pretty impressive. He's a good player. He's young. Wolves, I think they had to just sell him because of the fact that he wasn't going to sign that new contract, and they were threatened by the idea of him going out on a free. To be honest, people worried about the price tag. Don't be too worried. We're going to get into why a little bit later on. There's a lot of reasons for why I'm saying that, because as much as I don't agree with the price tag or the potential price tag as it goes up, there's a lot more to it that we do have to discuss. So I'm aware that Dora on Tour is streaming at the moment, so numbers are going to be quite low until then. Or I say that, but they're creeping up a little bit. But 57 of you in currently. If you can just drop a subscribe and like, that'd be great. Andrew, you did tell me. I should have listened, shouldn't I? And John, I'm sorry. I know. This is it. I had to go to work. Unfortunately, my friend, I've got a part-time job that I've got to commit to. Jason, Jack, Chris, Ras, Jem, Isaac, Simon, Kian, Robert. I hope you're doing well, everybody. And it's good to be back. And I want you guys to let me know how you're feeling about the Morgan Gibbs-White transfer, because in that process, as I'm just about to speak to someone about now, it means that you're probably not going to get the likes of Houssem Aouar, who I massively rated. It's a shame for sure that we wouldn't get someone like Houssem Aouar. But that being said, I think Morgan Gibbs-White, obviously being a couple of years younger, more suited to English football as a whole, he's going to be a very, very good player. So he's played under Steve Cooper. So I wouldn't say wipe the slate clean when it comes to Morgan Gibbs-White in terms of looking at how he's played at Wolves and looking at how he's played at Swansea or how he's played at Sheffield, because he's had very good performances there. But you need to look at, most importantly, how he's played under Steve Cooper. That's why you really, really, really need to look very closely at. Because under Steve Cooper, for England, they won the World Cup. He was part of that squad. With Swansea, they were pushing for promotion. There's a reason that Steve Cooper wants to buy Morgan Gibbs-White. Now, as much as people go, oh, it's the owners, lay off it a little bit, right? The owners do play a part in everything. Of course they do. It's their club. It's like if you own a car, anything. If it's yours, you know what I mean? And that's what's going on with them. So what I'm saying is that when it comes to the price tag, Forest, to a degree, didn't have much choice on how much to pay. Because if they had put in 15, 20 million like I hoped at the start, then it wasn't going to be accepted. And if negotiations are going to be not faltered, but let me put it like this. If you've got negotiations going on with a different club, why on earth would you want to start negotiations badly by putting in a ridiculously low offer? Or why would you want to keep insulting them? Because Look at Everton. They matched the bid last night, £25 million. So anything could have happened. Everton still could have bought Morgan Gibbs-White. They matched the bid and he could have been in an Everton shirt last night, right? So, but that hasn't happened. So what my point is that as much as we'd love to just lowball them and just get him for cheap, it's not possible. He didn't hand in his transfer request quite, but essentially he said, I'm not signing this new contract. I want to play under Steve Cooper. I prefer a move to Forest. So regardless of the Everton interest. And Wolves thought, well, if we can't let him go, for nothing, so let's at least get 25 million out of him as a straight fee. Obviously, it could rise to 44.5, but that's based on, I think, if Forest get a ridiculous placing this year, how the player performs. There's a lot of ridiculous performance bonuses in for the team and the player. So I'm not too worried. And neither should you be. Because I know people say don't worry because it's not your money, but we still put money in and we still want to know it's being spent well and safely because, we've seen teams over the past few years that haven't spent safely, But that being said, they're making good investments on and off the pitch, so I think they'll be okay. Now, looking at some of your comments, of course, we signed I know, but this is it. I was a little bit steaming last night between all of us. Let's all keep that in here. Just a few drinks with some friends, so, and that was already, unfortunately, I was already out by the time that everything was kicking off. So, yeah, I've not been out with friends for a very long time because I'm always working or doing this. So making good things happen for you guys, like the Gary Birtles interview or the interview with, oh, what was that? Oh, I can't tell you. That's right. Don't worry. We've got another interview lined up with another amazing individual who's a little bit more recent than Gary Birtles, a lot more recent than Gary Birtles. Not a Forest player anymore. Not a player at all for that matter. But yeah, you'll all know him. But I'm not going to even give you any clues. That is all the clues you've had just there. He's not a player anymore. Let's have a look. Hi, folks. I used to see Morgan Gibbs-White sometimes in Wolverhampton Town Centre. Wow. How tall is he, roughly? How tall is he? I do want to know. Is he about 5'10", isn't he? Good evening, Sean. I hope you're well. Well, okay. Desi, I'm going to say, and I had a conversation with someone at work about this, a United fan. Of course, 60 million is a lot for Casemiro and a 30-year-old in particular, but you've got to remember the amount of experience that Casemiro brings, and it's 60 million euros. So, 53 million pounds? It's still a lot of money, but I don't think you're going to get someone of his quality and experience for much cheaper than that. It's a 30-year-old player, no doubt, of course, but you'd pay 80 million for De Jong, who's got far less experience. So, get 4 years out of Casemiro, you're looking at maybe 15 million a year. It's a lot of money, but Man United have got to invest. They've got to do it. I don't know if what to say on that one, but Forest still sign Aouar. You say that, James. What do you all think? Do you think that Aouar is the man that we need now? Because for me, I don't see him, Morgan Gibbs-White and Lingard all being able to switch positions. Then you've got O'Brien and Mangala as well. It's quite hard. And there's even Ryan Yates still to go yet. So to think we had no midfielders a few weeks ago. To think. Very happy. It's just got over the line. Understand price is a bit opinion split. Look, the opinion is always going to be split within our fan base. Okay, this is me just saying the opinion is always going to be split because at the end of the day, we all have our own prerogatives as a club, and we all have our own prerogative as fans. We know what price we want to pay for Morgan Gibbs-White. The club knows what they want to pay. We've paid it now. That's how it is. 25 million is not ridiculous. It could have been more, and I'm glad it's not. Am I a little bit unsure about the amount of add-ons? A little bit, but that's not really for me to worry about too much. I'll give you my thoughts, you give me yours, and that's it. But it's been paid now. It's been paid. So, but look at the goal contributions last season. He can make the step up to the Premier League, regardless of what Wolves fans are telling you or anything. He can do it. I've always rated him as a player. I thought he was gone. I didn't think we'd get him. I thought we'd get Houssem Aouar, and I was looking forward to it. But either way, two very good midfielders. Odriozola, yeah, I mean, there's been some rumours of him not turning up to training and all this kind of thing. I won't say that I've seen anything that says he's not been training. So Alvaro Odriozola is a defender who plays for Real Madrid. And apparently, according to Insider Football, this is a Spanish news outlet. Now, Odriozola's been there since 2018 at Real Madrid. Now, apparently, Nottingham Forest have put in an offer for him, although that being said, I'm not quite sure on how good the source is, for example. But Odriozola is apparently a target for Forest. I'm not in the know, so I can't say definitely. But anything can happen. Anything can happen. There's good yeah. Look, there's good owners and there's bad owners, you know. And look, I think you've got to look at this and say they've ran a football club in Olympiacos for many years now. You know, they know the finances, they know how to run a club, albeit very different in terms of performance and levels of football. But they know who does it best in England, and they know who they've got. They know what resources they can work with, and they know the pull that Forest have. The Forest doesn't have the pull of Man City. It doesn't have the pull of Liverpool, but it has a very good fan base. It has a good enough pull to sign decent Premier League standard players. It has enough money to sign players that are Premier League proven, proven in their own individual leagues domestically in different countries. Forest have the ability to do that, as we've seen now. So I think we all need to just, you know, whatever's happening with the price, it's happened, right? But I think you're going to see a very good player, and he's match fit. He's ready to go, and he's registered ready. So just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Awesome Astronomy, disappointed at that price. Aouar is only 24, but has significant Champions League. Yeah, definitely. I think the problem and maybe the concern is, I know there's issues with his attitude that have been brought up. I know there's been issues with his performance over the last year, which I've said I'm not too worried about. But obviously, if the club have flagged that up, then that's just how it is. Evening, Will. Hope you're doing well. It's not Guy Moussi that I'm interviewing, by the way. It's not Dexter Blackstock. However, I'll tell you a funny story. Dexter Blackstock, I once messaged him on Instagram, and all he did was, he didn't say, that is a very inappropriate photo, by the way. I'm sorry for anybody that did just see that. Dexter Blackstock, he sent me this video on Instagram, and it was basically just this massive DJing set in a living room, and that was it. It was really, really, yeah, a bit random, but yeah, crazy. We need a left back on loan, and that should be it. Yeah, hopefully. I don't think, maybe a loan, yeah, maybe something just small for now, but Omar Richards obviously we're waiting on as well, so probably another 6-7 weeks for him. Look quite tall from 6 feet away, lol. Yeah, Neil Webb. I will have a look at Neil Webb. Would like to potentially shift our focus towards Gakpo. 100%. If the offer came for Gakpo or Aouar, you know, I know where my money is every time. No doubt. My money's on having Cody Gakpo. He's a much better player. Different position, obviously. Contributions last season and the season before, stunning. So yeah, Gakpo definitely. They're wanting 30 million. If the owners really want it, but I don't think that'll happen. To be honest, I don't think it'll happen. Aouar like Zidane or Messi who want Champions League. Well, I mean, obviously he's not like Zidane or Messi by any means, but yeah, he'll want Champions League, and obviously there's going to be issues if he doesn't get that. So let him do his thing. But we don't know anything yet. Fulham signing more pay. Yeah, let him do it. As I say, you know, more pay. Might be a shame, but at the end of the day, the club don't want to wait around for him because apparently everything was there and ready. But then he was the one still stalling, and Forest aren't interested in that. Why should they be? You know, so Gakpo still a realistic possibility, but don't hold your breath. Yates to cover at centre back. I prefer not really, to be honest. I like Yates, but I didn't enjoy him in a back four. Not for me. Evening, Ez. I hope you're doing well. Ez, you're legend. Hope you're doing good. I think Coops will want the midfield to throw everything at the opposition every game. Well, 100%. You know, if you win the midfield, you win the game for me. You know, we saw that at Newcastle. Where our midfield just got bulldozed. And regardless of how good our defence was, it just couldn't keep up. You know, and the attack, no matter how good the attack was, because Brennan Johnson and Surridge is still a very lethal attacking duo, regardless of whatever's happening at the moment. So, yeah, I would be just, you know, thinking about this game, hoping we win that midfield battle, which I think we will. You know, and if anything goes wrong in terms of fitness or anything, we've got people there. Also, it's shirt watch as well. I know people like seeing this. So shirt watch, we've got the Pinnacle shirt on today, provided by Lees Hill. Can you guess the year of the shirt? Can you? It's a nice shirt. 5 subs. Yeah, you've got to have depth. Marinakis can't attract big players to Greece. Well, I mean, yeah, he can still definitely do it to some decent players to Greece to a degree, but certainly not on the level of Forest. We've got the league as well. Let's have a look. Would love Gakpo, but where does he fit unless we play back 4? Yeah, really difficult, but it depends on how versatile he is. But yeah, still very difficult. 2-0 tomorrow, says Kean. Very confident. Probably not a good thing. Jono and Dennis to score. No, you should be confident. We should also be realistic. Get ready. Yeah, this is it. I think when it comes to games, as much as we should just kind of go, okay, we could get beaten today, or we're going to absolutely thrash them. That you've got to have the middle. You've got to be, because I know people always say to me, "Oh, don't speak." And Dor says this: "Don't speak like a journalist." I'm saying this as an honest person, as well as a fan of this team. I would love Forest to go out and batter Everton tomorrow. Do I think we have a good chance of winning? Yes. Do I think we can do it, in a comfortable manner? Maybe. But I'm still going to hold my breath on that one, because I think we've got a very, very capable and good team that can do really good things. And I think we can get the win tomorrow. Won't be easy. I'm not even going to say my score prediction or nothing here. I've done it for Super 6 on someone else's account. But I'll release that after if I win, however much money it is. Let me know how much it is on Super 6 tomorrow, by the way. I do want to win. Morgan Gibbs-White is one of the best investments we have made. Yeah, well, this is it. I mean, 10 million for O'Brien. Worst comes to worst, that guy's going to be worth 30 million in a year or so. He's 23. He's got 7 years till he's 30 when your value starts to properly dip. But, amazing. Get Kevin Campbell on. Good one. I'm going to try. I need to speak to Dor, because obviously Dor knows Kevin and I don't, which is a shame. But the person that I know is pretty sensational. So he's a little bit more recent than Kevin Campbell. I'll give you that. He's a little bit more recent than Dexter Blackstock, technically, but he was there before as well. Hi, Jamie. Do you know Max? I do. Me and Matchday with Max. I've been watching Matchday with Max for a few years. Him and Dora, I've been watching for like 3 or 4 years now. Yeah, me and Max are working on something anyway, and might be working on something at a different point. But yeah, it'd be good to get Max on a stream, I think. Should we? If any of you want to do it, then we'll make that happen. Any guests you want to see, come on, guys. You just let me know, because I will make sure that we can do something like that. We're going till about 11:30 tonight. We should be, just because I've got to be up early tomorrow to leave for Liverpool, and then yeah. So let's have a look. Thank you, Ez. Loving it. Pinnacle, can't go wrong. Hasn't been washed since. Stop it. Robbie Hewitt, 98. Good work. I'll take a draw tomorrow. Be very happy with it at this stage. A point is what you need. A point at the very minimum. That's what we need. Is Niakate injury free for the Everton game? I know that this was also asked by Malati, but I think potentially a lot of people are just saying it's cramp. But yeah. I think potentially, yeah, I'd say 60% yes. If it's cramp, that's if it's cramp. If it's a hamstring injury, which he hasn't said anything about, then I'm not too worried. Dawson or Reed, maybe, I don't know, maybe. Chris Cohen, maybe. Julian Bennett, I have met Julian a couple of times, so yes, Julian Bennett will try and make that happen. But it isn't Julian Bennett. It's not Chris Cohen either. Quite hard to get him on because of his role at the moment. Jermaine Genius, that's another one that I've met. Yeah, Jermaine Genius is another one I've met. Robert Earnshaw, someone I've spoke to. Andy Reid or Chris Cohen, not quite. Someone was very close. Feel like your catchphrases can't go wrong. Oh no, don't say that, because I know where this goes to, and I know Ez is probably going to start saying who. Oh God, here we go. Not Stan Collymore. Not Stan Collymore. Although that would be a dream to do. Whole squad will get game time of 100%, 5 subs as well. So, but even then, you want to keep as much quality on the pitch as you can. Lars Bentner, no. Simon Cox. Oh wow, Simon Cox. He's a name. He is a name. I remember speaking to Simon Cox a few years ago about. It was really weird. I was probably about 14, and I remember I messaged some of like the old Forest legends and everything else. Yeah, that. But this is it. I remember messaging. We spoke about Bitcoin, and that was it. It was really, really weird. But he was a Forest legend. Forest legend. What am I hearing about being told not to stream until what? What's going on? Sorry, I'm being tagged in things on Facebook saying I've been told not to stream by someone. I don't know what's going on. So, having a look, it's not Lewis McGugan. That being said, I met Lewis McGugan. Steve Hodge, I've met him. I met Lewis McGugan at the Youth Cup final, and I was in the picture for BBC Radio Nottingham, dream by the way, by accident. So Steve Hodge, I'll ask him when I next see him. It's not Aaron Davis, but yeah, it's not Simon Cox, not McGugan. So yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm getting a couple of messages saying that somebody told me not to stream. So I don't know what's going on. Can we have a year as a clue? Very good question. God, it must have been during lockdown, maybe just before. Yeah, it was fairly recent, actually. It's fairly recent, but no longer a player. Is it John O'Senior? It isn't Dave Johnson. It isn't Dave Johnson. Dave Johnson is a friend, but I don't know if we do that interview. I don't know. Maybe I should ask him. Maybe I should ask Dave if he wants to do it. But at the moment, I'm cool with just, being a mate. So not Dave Johnson, but he is a legend. If you're listening, Dave, you're a legend. Roy Keane, no. I have tried in the past, but no. Ian Wone, unfortunately not. Wes Morgan, Osborne, not quite. Not Chris Bart-Williams. Oh, you're all very, very close at times. You're all getting closer. Evening, Mini Cooper. Hope you're doing well. MGW, good to see that he is. Good to see what is going on with Forest getting these signings in. It's not Glenn Murray. That's a very good guess, Kian. Good guess. Heffel, fairly good guess as well. You all seem to be guessing quite well now. I'm not going to answer it now. I'm not going to answer. I'm not going to say if it's yes or no. Andy Reid, I don't know. You're all going to have to find out in a week's time when we get the dates announced, when we get everything announced. It'll be good. But let's just say it's probably the biggest interview I'll have ever done. And it's not Jason Lee. I will just say that. It's the biggest interview I've ever done, 100%. It's a bit of a dream for me because this person's someone that I looked up to playing in the position that I did on Saturday League. So if you know what position I played in Saturday League until last year, which I've mentioned a couple of times on my streams, then you'll know. So there's like Easter eggs kind of hidden all around the streams now. So you have to go and watch those. But let's talk Forest. And let's in particular talk about the price tag, because I know I know for a fact that there's people concerned over the price. There's concern over a potential, because what every big company is doing is they're saying Forest strike £44 million deal with Morgan Gibbs-White. I just want to say that that's not true, as many of you now know, because of the good journalism standards that we have in the likes of John Percy, David Ornstein, who actually got it before Percy. I just want to say 25 million. It was the maximum I said I'd go for when all of this was properly kicking off about 4 weeks ago. And add-ons potentially stretching to 30, whereas we know it's probably going to reach 35. That's the most probable number, unless Forest have an insane season that the price will reach. So about 35 million is what we'll likely pay for him overall. And then you've also got to think about the fact that obviously we want to bring in other players maybe in January, but even then, I think 25 million for Gibbs-White is good considering what it could have been. You know, it could have been 35 million straight out, but for various reasons it wasn't. So all I'll say is that it's a big price tag. It's a lot of money. It's a big financial gamble. But that being said, it's a gamble that at the moment we can afford to gamble with. And also there's worse players to gamble for. It's not like you're spending 25 million on a 31-year-old or an old player. You're buying a young player who's got another 8 years till he's 30. You know, that's 8 seasons until he's starting to dip a bit. So look, 23 goal contributions in 40 games last year. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. And you say that if Forest get relegated, they're in serious financial trouble, but they've got massive parachute payments. So I wouldn't worry all that much. And yeah, as soon as he gets scoring and gets some assists, then pretty good. And you've got to remember as well that I think it's going to take the right manager to bring it out of him. And for me, that's Steve Cooper. He's worked in 2 of Steve Cooper's setups, one at Swansea and one at England, under 17s. There is a reason that Steve Cooper wants him, and there's a reason the club's going to pay 25 million for him. He fits in what Steve Cooper wants to do. He fits in the way that Steve Cooper wants people to act, and he fits in the way that they want to play. So he's got a good attitude towards the game. He's got a good attitude towards the Forest project. He chose Forest over Everton, so that you can't go wrong really with that one. And I've just said it again, haven't I? But put it this way, 25 million for the kind of player that we've just attained in Morgan Gibbs-White is going to be a good deal. Is it a great deal now? Not 100% sure, but it's a deal nonetheless. And he's got a lot of contributions last season, just over a goal contribution, half a goal contribution per game. So I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be very good. See you tomorrow. Hope it has a good game. 2-1 Everton, says Rico. I mean, Rico is a regular on this stream and he's an Everton fan. So Rico, fair play to you, my friend. And all the best. I'm hoping that Forest win. I'm going 2-1 Forest. 25 million plus add-ons. Had arguments with Wolves fans and some journalists who state 40 odd million. But this is it. The big headlines say 40 odd million. TalkSport say 40 odd million. Simon Jordan goes crazy. But then all of a sudden they realise, well, hold on a minute. It's not actually 44 million. It's actually 25 million. With add-ons likely rising to just over 30. So I'm not too worried. Still can't believe it. Yeah, same here. It went from nothing to something, didn't it? It all just came very, very quickly. Let's have a look at the starting 11. Who do you think will be the 3 in midfield starting against Everton? Give me your thoughts and make sure that you share this stream to all Facebook groups. Share it to all your platforms, everywhere you can share it to. Remember to like as well. It's important that you do like this video, because obviously when you like it, drives up engagement, and it's just a bit of a helping hand almost. Who would have thought the Sheffield second leg will be now buying Morgan Gibbs-White for 25 million? I'm going to be honest with you, Paul. I'm going to be honest with you, and I know hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? But I remember saying after the playoff semi-final, I'd love Morgan Gibbs-White at Forest. I'd love Morgan Gibbs-White at Forest. I said it after a couple of games against Huddersfield. I'd love Lewis O'Brien. Even earlier this year, I'd love Lewis O'Brien. You know, and all I'm saying is I like Cody Gakpo. So let's see where that goes, shall we? If Cooper is okay, I'm sure that Cooper's okay. He's got the budget in front of him. He knows how much they've got, to spend. He knows who they want to spend it on as well. At the end of the day, I think you've got to remember that we've been given a substantial amount of money, for good reason. And Cooper knows where to spend it. We all trusted him last season, so let's trust him this season. It's a huge gamble, and there's a lot of pressure on him to spend the money correctly, because it could cost him his job. But the way he's doing at the moment, I very much doubt that it will have any implications on his job. So it's a big, when you've been given 100 and something million to spend, you're always going to feel very nervous, right? Let's be honest. So it's never easy to be given, authority over that much money, especially with owners that want so much out of you as a manager, and they want the club to produce quite as highly as the owners want it to. So, look, I have got full confidence in Cooper. From speaking briefly to him, or just hearing the interviews with Colin Frey at Radio Nottingham, and he's a very, very well knowledge guy. He's a well weathered person in terms of football. He knows football. He knows how to coach. He knows how to develop from his academy days. And he knows how chemistry works within a team. So that's important. And we've got a manager that can do all those things. So keep the faith, regardless of how tomorrow goes. If any of you are going as well, drop a thumbs up in the comments, or let me know when you're going. I'll be there about 11:30, I think. I'll be there nice and early. Going to be going meeting a couple of friends before, having a quick drink, quick coffee, and then over to the game. So I'm looking forward to it. If I can meet any of you there as well, it'd be really, really nice. And I'm looking forward to going to Goodison. Because I know that Liverpool is a city of football. It's a prestigious city for football. And I know that absolutely everybody in Liverpool bleeds football. So I'm looking forward to it. Do you think Gibbs-White will start tomorrow? No. I think he'll come on just after half-time. Lingard, probably, depending on his fitness, will just come off. Yeah. Wish one day I'll have the chance to go to the City ground. Zahir, we'll make it happen, brother. If you keep in contact, we will make sure that you get an opportunity to go and watch Forest at the City ground at some point. We'll make sure that you get tickets. So don't you worry, my friend. We'll make it happen. Lampard's looking worried when asking about having no strikers. Obviously, Calvert-Lewin out injured as well. But this is it. I mean, I wouldn't say it's an inevitable beating and that's just it and it's just win. But he knows that it's going to be difficult if you don't have a striker. And let's be honest, West Ham struggled with strikers. Even their brand new player, Scamacca, couldn't get past the likes of Niakate. So, it's one of those, he's going to be worrying. If even this, their strikers can't get past our defence, it's going to be difficult. Everton. Oh, see you at Everton. Sam Randall. Now, this man, I will just say, Sam Randall, he coaches my football team and he's an absolute legend. I'd have him on the coaching staff at Forest if I could. But Sam, if you're about, my friend, you got me on Facebook anyway. Just drop me a message. Be good to meet you. And have a quick chat. Maybe a coffee as well, Bovril, whatever. Last game at Goodison. I don't remember it. I'm praying we have to pay the full price for Morgan Gibbs-White. That means Forest have had some success. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I know what you're saying. As much as I don't want to pay 40-odd million for Morgan Gibbs-White, you hope we do, because then we'll be in Europe and everything. But let's keep it realistic and let's see what we can do. Jay, you heard anything about Niakate being fit? No. The only person who I have, and I've mentioned before, is Ryan Yates, where I heard that he should be fit for the weekend. So Ryan Yates is also available. But it'd be interesting to see what happens there. 100% back in Brennan Johnson to get off the mark tomorrow. So if you're listening, Bren, get us a goal or two, my son. No, seriously though, I do think, Brennan Johnson for a goal tomorrow. I mean, the chip that he did against Fabianski, even though it wasn't a goal, was absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. But yeah, shame he didn't get that goal because it was a beautiful goal. Dave Murphy doing a good job. Yeah, I mean, I've just seen the video of him crying at Wembley. I can't believe I've never seen that before. It's amazing. So much passion for the team and so much passion for the job that he excels at. So this is it, people. We're in for a good ride with some really, really good people running the club. It's not Scott Gamill. It's not Scott Gamill that's... pardon me. It's not Scott Gamill that I am interviewing. Someone got it right earlier. I won't say who, but someone guessed correctly. So they retired. And you're asking Sam what position I played. Sam wasn't a coach when I played in this position, or he might have been very just closely, but we'll see. Never been so excited about football in my life. I know how you feel, because it's always been kind of sitting with my dad watching other Premier League teams, a bit boring, kind of going, oh, you know, Chelsea this, or oh, I don't like Man City this, or whatever, Liverpool, I don't like this. But now to see Forest doing that is a dream, and we'll wear some good shirts along the way. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. We're pretty happy. We've signed the player that missed the penalty to get us to the final, and we've then listen, if Adam, remember, if you can't beat us, join us. That's what they always say, isn't it? So yeah, Lewis O'Brien, Toffolo, and Morgan Gibbs-White. My teacher said that they would. He doesn't think that Lewis O'Brien and Toffolo would make the jump up. I just want to say, you're wrong already. We need to find a. Oh no, I think that's harsh, Hanachi. I think that's harsh. I think Yates needs to be given a chance. He's barely played any games. He's probably not going to be fit, even if he's injury free. So yeah, for me, you need to give him time. He's not even stepped foot on a Premier League pitch yet, other than as on the sidelines. So he was walking okay when I last saw him, but obviously he's still not going to be fully fit. So give it time and wait for him to get some first team football if he does, or get some minutes probably tomorrow if he comes on. It kind of is Gary Birtles, but I just want to say, right, basically Gary Birtles' interview is going to be out Monday. Monday at 12:30 noon. The interview with Gary Birtles is going to be there. I just want to warn you, it's part 1 because believe it or not, we've got a part 2 coming very soon in about 3 weeks. I rang him up last night and said, Gary, what do you reckon? Another one in a couple of weeks. But this time it's going to be just about Brian Clough, because the one we just did was about his playing days, how he actually had to go on the dole, and you know how he's a carpet fitter and all these things that he did after football, the tough life after football and things like that. Whereas the next one is going to be a little bit about Brian Clough. So it was really good to speak to him. Really good to speak to him. I know him very well now, and he's a really nice guy. It's not Super Benny Watson. I'm sorry, it's not Tank Rogers. It's not Trevor Francis. We converted Jay into a Ryan Yates midfielder. Yeah, well, when I'm not injured, unfortunately, I've got soft tissue damage in my hip, which can be quite nasty. So at the moment, I'm on the coaching staff with Sam and Graham and everybody. And yeah, so I'm getting a specialist to look at it next week, having it all scanned up. Hope you're doing well, Osborne. Good to see you. I've not got any word on sponsor. I messaged the head of media operations yesterday at Forest asking if we could hear anything on the sponsor, and I heard nothing. And I messaged him a while ago, so nothing on the sponsor. I don't know what's going to really happen with that, but we're just going to have to wait and see, to be fair. I'm expecting one to come in a few weeks, maybe. That will go with that one. It's a long season. Plenty of time for Yates to have an impact. 100%. Give him time. Give him time. People are throwing him off before he's even started. He's not even jumped on the pitch yet. So, yeah, give him time. Evening, Jay, you mighty Reds. Jolly Ollie, good to have you on. Guessing you spoke about it, but if you do you think MGW will be bench? Definitely bench. Well, I say definitely, I don't know, but I would say likely he's on the bench and then introduce him just after half time, I would say, depending on how the game's going. So, but yeah, he'll have a lot to offer, and I think he'll get some time tomorrow. How was it to speak with Gary Birtles? Well, I've always got a story for how I meet these people. You know, legends of football, and I think in particular Gary Birtles. Now, there was one day when I was coming, and I'm kind of giving this away because it's all in the podcast. There was one day where me and Gary Birtles, I remember I'd just come out from the kitchen where my mum works and now runs. And I was going, and she said to me, go and speak to your granddad. He's over there with the guy with grey hair. And I said, okay, Mum. I said, okay. Went over, sat down with them. They both had a glass of wine, my granddad and Gary Birtles, and we just spoke. And my granddad went, do you know who this is? And he goes, and I go, I ain't got a clue. You know, no offense, Gary, I haven't got a clue. And he goes, this man is a European Cup winner with Brian Clough. And I always knew the name Brian Clough, you know. So when I heard that was Gary Birtles there who played in that squad, I was searching him up and watching I Believe in Miracles and going, I've sat down with him and have this chat. And, you know, I've been trying to contact him for a few years. And the other week I managed to get his number because my family's quite close to his. So, yeah, he's an amazing guy. You're really going to enjoy the interview. There's not too many Brian Clough stories. There's a couple. One that talks about the saying that says a Bovril at half time is better than a Gary Birtles performance. That's something I bet you've not heard, or you may have heard, if you're of the older generation almost. So yeah, that was how I described my time speaking with Gary Birtles. But yeah, we've got another one coming soon, so don't worry. It's not Stanley. I won't say anything. But yeah, I'm hoping it doesn't come to that, to be honest, because it's a really tough thing to talk about. But like sports related mental health problems, when I was injured and I couldn't play, and I discovered I couldn't run much anymore. Well, I can't run at the moment. Yeah, I was in tears a lot. Really, really upset. Yeah, really upset. I don't think even my manager or the coaches know how upset I am about it, because I love playing and I thought I had a good season last season. It's all gone to shit a little bit with the injury, but again, it's seen by specialists. They're going to have a look and see what they can do. And that's just how it goes. That's just life, isn't it? But let's hope I can, because it makes me really upset not playing football. I have a right injury. Yeah, right finger injury. Well, unlucky. I can't play chess. Chess gets on my nerves anyway. It's too precise for me. It's all too much. I think too deeply about it. How do our players that are not involved in the World Cup keep match fit when the World Cup comes around? They'll be doing their own individual training, I'm sure. Look, players don't just stop when the World Cup's around. They'll be training in and out of the club, and yeah, we'll see what happens there. It's not Robbo. Cadlin Crew. There you go. If you're a Chilwell man, you'll know. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. You're close. Mr. Birtles loves a colourful shirt. He does. He had a very colourful shirt on in an interview. He did. Such a nice guy. I'll just say. Is Gary Birtles. If you ever get the chance to catch up with him, speak to him. I know he goes to a couple of Forest games. Get a picture with him, have a quick chat with him. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. And he grew up on Inhamnook Estate, which is just down the road from me. So yeah, he's not been born into privilege by any means, and even after football, life wasn't all, golden watches and big cars, and that's the reality of life after football. It isn't that like that for many players these days, or should I say kind of back in those days, So, yeah, that's just how it is. I'm not commenting. Stan Collymore, not Stan Collymore. I won't say regarding Dawson, you're close, but I won't say. So, guys, we are approaching the last 15 minutes of the stream. So if any of you have any questions, please let me know, because we're going to be answering all your questions over the next 15 minutes. All your questions, any queries you have about me, about the club, let me know, because I'd be more than happy to answer these questions, as I say, because at the end of the day, we're on a stream. We're all having a good time. We're enjoying it. And more importantly, talking about Forest. How many more signings are we getting? I think 2 more, right back and a striker. I mean, Odriozola, right back for Real Madrid. And Forest are looking at him. So that's potential. But as I say, we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, right back and a striker. Seems fair. It's not Andy Reid. What time are you leaving Nottingham tomorrow morning? 8:30 in the morning. And then we're going straight to Liverpool, man. And I'll be having a couple of coffees with some friends and doing my thing tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to it. Chicken and mushroom, pot noodle, or Bombay bad boy? Bombay bad boy. You know how we roll, Mini Cooper. Bombay bad boy. Every single day of the week. Not even a Forest question, but yeah, that's it. I don't think Morgan Gibbs-White will be on the squad sheet. I beg to differ with that one, Carl. I think he very much will be. Who would you say our best starting 11 going forward? Starting 11 tomorrow. Okay, I'll give you my starting 11 tomorrow and then my best. Henderson in goal. Niakate, McKenna and Worrell in the middle. Williams and Toffolo at either side as wing-backs. In the middle, Mangala. Tomorrow it's going to be Mangala, O'Brien, Lingard, no doubt. That being said, potentially Freuler could come in. I've not heard anything, but yeah. And then I'm going to go Awoniyi and Johnson up front. I think Awoniyi and Johnson up front. So, but it's a really tough one, and the best one going forward, I genuinely couldn't give you the answer to, because I still think that we've got another player to come in, of course, but it's really tough. That midfield's not an easy one to pick out of. So, yeah, it's a tough one. It really is tough, but that'll be my starting 11 tomorrow. 60,000 seater minimum stadium. Forest could fill it. Forest could fill 40k now, 50k. Is there anything in us potentially offering Moreno a better deal? Not from what I've heard. That being said, obviously anything could happen, but from what I've heard, no, nothing on that. How much do you think we'll have left in our budget? Any more big players? I mean, potentially. I mean, look, if Forest is still interested in Cody Gakpo, there's £25 million there worth of player. If Man United don't get him, so for me, I would say 20 million, 25 million, just taking us over the 150 rate. I think that's about what I would say. That's what I would go for. As a kid, I was a Pontins League reserve game. Forest fan giving players hell. Clough gets up out the dugouts, turns the crowd and tells us all to shut the... Wow. But this is it, though. You don't see this with, managers. I mean, you can't really anymore. You're not really allowed to, are you, I suppose? But, yeah, Brian Clough was a one-of-a-kind. And I said, Gary Birtles said he's a one-off, complete one-off. You won't see that again in any manager, ever. Yeah, he's a really, really special manager, wasn't he? And as a person as well, because he wasn't just when he was Forest manager, it was when he was Leeds or Derby. He still had that same character. So yeah, really, really good. And I'm just gutted I never got to see him, properly and remember him. So amazing man, and just a shame what alcoholism did. To such an incredible person that was Brian Clough. And he died in 2009, didn't he? So, yeah, it's a shame. Brennan and Morgan Gibbs-White won't be rotated. Will play if fit. Team will be built. But this is it. Lingard could play where Awoniyi was or Johnson was even or wherever. There's a lot of rotation available. But yeah. And also to justify spending, going on to what Desi says here, we've been saving a long time. Of course, we've got the Gunter money. We won a lot from Wembley, a lot. We've got a lot in TV rights, a lot for joining the Prem. At the end of the day, we've got money to spend. We've got that money to spend. That money isn't dangerously spent. We're not spending dangerously. We've got to buy. We've lost, 12 players? 6 first teamers and more. So, at the end of the day, this is what it's all about. We lost 12 players. We've now got 16 plus 4 deficit. You can't go wrong with that. I've said it again. But listen, people, this is it. But the pundits are going to say, they're signing too many or they're signing this person. Or no, that's not true. We've got to sign these players to make up for depth. And if we don't do that, then we're going to struggle. So, that's what you got to do. Only tuning in, Jamie. What's your team for tomorrow? Quick fire. Henderson, if fit, Niakate, which I assume he will because of cramp, I think it was. Niakate, Worrell, McKenna, Williams, Toffolo, Lewis O'Brien, Mangala, Lingard, Awoniyi, Johnson. I'd say we start the same and then introduce players as we go on. I left out tonight. Wonder where he's going. I'd say Crystal Palace. From what I've heard, it's going to be Crystal Palace. I know that they're interested, and they were interested in Gibbs-White as well, but they never pursued it. So, yeah, for me. He's a bit cheaper than Gibbs-White as well, so maybe it's what Crystal Palace are looking at. Have you ever met Nigel Clough? No, I was close, but I missed him by about 20 minutes. Him and Martin O'Neill, they were eating at my mum's pub. So yeah, interesting. Not Jamie Ward. We'll break the 200 million. Do you think? I don't think we will. I think 150, I reckon. Wolves fan here. Really hope he does well and proves a lot of Wolves fans wrong. Lots of ability, and we'll be watching him. Really appreciate that, and probably the nicest I've heard from a Wolves fan, to be honest, over the last 24 hours. So thank you very much to you. Door on tour. Oh, he's like my dad now, isn't he? You know you're up early tomorrow night. Tomorrow, right? Oh, sorry. I thought he said tomorrow night then. You know you're up early tomorrow. I know. Yeah, we were going to have a guest on tonight, but it's getting a bit late and I'm going to be jumping off in just a moment's time. But yeah, Dor, I know. Like a true parent would say is Mr. Dor. Dor, get that contract ready. I've still got time to sign that, my friend. Get it done. But we're going to be tuning out in a minute anyway. Matt, I will be at Everton. Let me know if you're going. Lingard, the mentor. Morgan Gibbs-White, the apprentice. It's going to have to be at times. Can't have a plus deficit, true, but you know what I'm saying in that regard. Is that a Smirnoff or have you upgraded to Ciroc? Smirnoff? No, I had Glenn's yesterday. Glenn's is very... No. Carlisle manager said how much Cooper rates Finback. He is great prospect. Finback's a brilliant prospect. Give it time and he's going to be in that team. Him and Riley Harbottle as well, who's got a couple of goals so far, Riley Harbottle, so fair play to him. Steve Chettle, it's not, but I'll tell you a funny story. Dor, I don't know if I should say this because of Dor. I'm not going to say it, but it was interesting. Someone leaning in for a kiss with Mr. Steve Chettle, I remember. I'm sorry, I had to. Clough should have been the England manager, but was very outspoken. Yeah, but you know what? He wouldn't have changed that for the world. So he was outspoken. If people didn't like that, then that's their own issue. Yeah, fair play to Brian Clough for being his thing, for being how he was. You know, any chance of getting Des Walker on? Potentially. I'll try my best. Once I've got a couple of the newer guests that I've spoken about on, we'll go from there. I don't know any popular away pubs. Unfortunately, I won't be able to visit. I'll be working almost, if you like. So I won't be able to. Have you changed your prediction for where we'll finish with these signings? Of course, I want to, because I want to be more ambitious. But I'm being really harsh. Like my prediction is the harshest it can be. So I'm still saying 15th. I'm still thinking 15th. You want to take us down, mate? Oh, shit. Well, I don't. That's for sure. I had a feeling with our owner with no sponsor yet that he has a massive sponsor on his hat to help us with FFP. Yeah, and if it's his own company as well, that's probably the likely thing to help us get around it. You can do that. People do it all the time. Big clubs do it all the time. So that's just how it goes, really. But guys, listen, it's been brilliant to have been able to bring this stream to you. I'll let you keep guessing as to who we will be interviewing on this podcast in the coming weeks. Let's just say he's a fan favourite, retired now, wasn't here that long ago, really. Yeah, you all love him. You're all going to hear from him very soon, and we'll keep you all up to date with that. So thank you all for joining. It's been brilliant to bring you another stream and Door. Don't worry, I won't tell him the full Steve Chettle story. Don't you worry, my friend. But listen, it's been great. Door, I'll see you tomorrow, my friend. And to everybody, have a good night. Stay safe tomorrow. If you're going, then yeah. So safe journey, everybody, to Everton tomorrow. See you all there. Keep up to date with me on Twitter at I'm Jamie Martin, and I'll keep you up to date with the latest news from Nottingham Forest. So cheers, everybody, for joining. It's been a great stream. Take care. Goodbye.